distinguished professors, faculty, the research scholars, the industry officials, my DRDO colleagues and friends. I represent DRDO, which I think recently was in news for good reasons, that our indigenous systems perform very well in operations, thanks to our government policy for indigenous systems. Actually, the biggest advantage of indigenous technology is the surprise element. If we buy things imported, then you know everything is also known to some other people who are trying to use that. So you can't really create a surprise in the war. Your indigenous systems, you can always have surprise element, which is the biggest, I would say, asset whenever we are going for it. Because many of the things are not known to the people. And you have liberty of customization, liberty of upgrade, liberty of bug fixing, liberty of incremental updates, so many things, obsolescence management, everything is possible in time. Because generally, whichever system is borrowed from foreign sources, always there is an issue related to maintenance. If you don't get proper maintenance spares, always there is a black mark with respect to cost, the time, the technology, upgrades. Software will always have vulnerability, which is the basic issue in cyber threats today. So all these advantages you get when you develop systems. So with that motto, our Honorable Prime Minister has given this task that we are required to put total ban on import in the next few years. Of course, the indigenous content is increasing year by year, and I think by 2047 we have to be fully sufficient in our defense ecosystem, not only for our indigenous requirements, which is our armed forces need, but also for export potential. So with this objective, DRDO is working on cutting edge technology. We are continuously working on newer tactics, whatever armed forces are asking, and accordingly our systems are upgraded. And now armed forces have also realized that what is the advantage of indigenous system, therefore they are fully supporting whatever indigenous efforts that we are doing. So my organization is today, it is like this, that we have 7 ministers. DRDO is working in all kinds of defense systems, starting from so we are working in all types of defense platforms, all airborne platforms, the aircraft, the unmanned systems, stratospheric platforms, which we call HAPS platforms, then all types of armament systems, which are tanks, the heavy vehicles, various types of guns, rockets, rocket launchers, all types of electronic communication systems, which is basically directed energy weapons, electronic warfare systems, every type of things which are required in the warfare, every type of system is being developed by DRDO. Accordingly, our organization is broken down into 7 clusters, 7 technology clusters. In addition, there is a separate, I will say, Director General for BrahMos capability, which is a joint venture between Russia and India. And we have a corporate structure where a lot of support is there, administrative support. Then there is one independent university at Pune, which we call Defense Institute of Armament Technology, which is doing cutting edge technology research as well as whatever training and futuristic manpower development which we need for the nation. Now, if you look at our emphasis on indigenous technology, we have a very structured approach to research where industry, academia, and DRDO are working together. Towards that, both internal as well as external, we have a complete method of how to start working on various DRDO levels, and based on the maturity we integrate the industry requirement and then production systems which are related to the industry. So on the external environment which is related to industry and academia, we have basically three different types of approaches by which we fund the indigenous technology. We call it one is extramural research, which is basically meant for basic research initiatives. We are very low TR, we are at 0 to that is funded. In fact, there are huge list of verticals. There are 82 verticals, research verticals. In each of them, there is an extramural research component which is available. Then there is a directed research, which means top to down, top to bottom. We have our own technology roadmap. Based on the technology roadmap, there is a product roadmap. We have come out with a 10-year product roadmap, and we have broken down those products into technologies. Each of those technologies have got a realization plan. And in the realization plan, there is a lot of items where academia is playing a great role. Similarly, the startups and MSMEs are also playing a great role. So there we fund it as a directed research based on the TRL level requirement, right from TRL 2 to TRL 6. We fund the academic projects. And then if technology is having some innovation and also having a path to a product, then we fund it to the startup and the MSMEs, so that eventually a product or system can be realized. What we are doing in the industry is that there are methods of engaging industry. Some are through the products which are formal projects, very big projects we take, and as part of the co-development methodology, we basically select a development cum production partner, which is basically that industry going hand in hand right from the design stage to the final production. So those are big projects. Some of them may be 500 crore, 1000 crore like that. Then, if we have already developed certain technologies, then we provide DOTs to the people so that they can then utilize them and create their own products. Then certain projects have got joint venture, and then actual technologies which are futuristic in nature, which are cutting edge, and some of them could be from deep tech areas. Those we fund through startup and MSMEs by utilizing the concept called Technology Development Fund. And then there are technologies which we realize through Center of Excellences, which we have created in all our leading institutions. Today there are 15 Center of Excellence. Now what are we doing here? When we are engaging the industry, we are providing free access to whatever patents have been generated by DRDO. We are providing full access to the cash facilities which are available with us in all laboratories and elsewhere. We have created huge infrastructure for testing. All those are available to the industry for free. And then we are developing certain specialized test facilities in our defense corridors, which are located one in Tamil Nadu and another in our group. Then we are basically supporting the industry. If they are trying to convert some projects into the export potential, then there also we are basically enrolling them for realization of products which can be exported. So TDF is one very promising scheme which actually was operationalized way back in 2018. Initially it was given to Department MOD, Department of Defense Production, but later on it was told that DRDO will implement it. Its basic thrust is that we want to create entrepreneurs in the startup and MSMEs, and they should become supply chain partners for these systems, which means that bigger industry players can develop the full systems, and the smaller players, which are startups and MSMEs, they develop technologies which can be integrated into our system. So the technology outcomes of the industry, the MSMEs can go into the bigger systems with the industry. Now, today we have lot of component systems which are in use, and many of the components subsystem level are obsolete. We are not getting spare parts. Therefore, it is a need of indigenization. So we have been told, we have been given a list of spare parts by our armed forces, which is required to be manufactured. If you go to the MOD portal's region, there is a portal called region, on which there is a list of what all imported systems are required to be manufactured. There also we indigenize, and for indigenization, based on the specifications and complexity of that particular module or technology, there is a funding available. In the Technology Development Fund, we have a funding up to 50 crore per project. Up to 10 crore we fund up to 90%, and beyond that up to 70%. But in special cases, that 70 can become 90 based on the justification. So practically, if there is a very promising technology, we can fund 90% for every 50 crore. And since there is a back-end support available from all our laboratories, scientific manpower, so there is a big handholding for every technology development project that we are funding to industry. Startup and MSMEs are getting benefited from that handholding because our scientists are able to provide proper interface space, the ICD for the full system integration, the requirement of test procedure, whatever is required, full handholding is done by our scientists. And they basically help in the final system integration as and when the technology is integrated into the system. So this way is the complete banking, monitoring, and right from the definition of the project, execution of the project, and integration in the final product, there is a full handholding we are providing in our. As I mentioned, through academia we are doing a directed research based technology development, and as of today we have 15 Center of Excellence located in almost all important IITs and some of the leading universities, University of Hyderabad, Mizoram University, Gujarat University, University of Jammu, and all our big IITs, IIT Kanpur. Everywhere there is a Center of Excellence, and in each Center of Excellence there are trust verticals which are available. Total 82 verticals are available. Now when we say 82 verticals, those all are encompassing the complete DRDO technology spectrum. Whatever I listed there, 7 clusters are handling lot of technology related items. So all those are broken down into 82 verticals, and each some of the verticals are lying in this area. Somewhere or other they will be lying. So based on the strength of each institution, we have created this Center of Excellence. And in each Center of Excellence, we have created a project formulation mechanism where technical evaluation committees are there, which initially analyze the project proposals and they scrutinize based on the requirements of labs are providing the problems, PIs are suggesting the solution, and that proposal is scrutinized. Then there is a 2-stage process for approval, which we call Research and Advisory Board and the General Council. So by this process, we are able to sanction the project. We have streamlined the process. Earlier it used to take a lot of time, but of late, now we are making efforts that low complexity project, maximum 3 to 3.5 months, we should be able to sanction the project. And very complex project, even if it is 50 crore project, upper limit is 6 months. So this is what controlled way we are trying to sanction, so that there is a motivation to the PIs, to the professors, that whatever technology development that we are doing is time bound in nature. And we have created one very good challenging approach where, in the name of our honorable President, former President Dr. Abdul Kalam, we have launched one Dare to Dream contest. Its 4 versions have already passed, and 5th version is right now running. And its basic purpose is to bring out the talent from individuals, from the startup, from the industry, or a group of people. They can give their solutions and a committee basically scrutinizes. Of course, we have a formal directorate for handling of the IPR, including the technology transfer. So now we have devised a method where the contest winners are going to be converted into actual projects for technology development. It is not the award money only that we will provide, but also we will convert those award winning solutions into. Now, what we are providing as an opportunity for promising PhD scholars is that Honorable Prime Minister has provided us 500 PhD scholars for actually applied research. Can be used by DRDO. So now we are making a list of all cutting-edge technology-related projects on which the PhD students can apply for, and there we are making a method by which whatever problem that PhD scholar is working on, it's through a separate funding, it can be converted into a product. So this particular soon we will be announcing. However, today students are free to utilize this facility through MHRD. I think there is a provision available for getting the required money. In addition, we have recently launched MTech in Defense Technologies, where to be contest now, as I said, that we are converting them into project. And various types of hackathons are available in every project that we make. There is a provision of student internship, so that 4 or 6 internships can be taken for basically learning as well as for making the student motivated for the next study. So now, what is required is that generally we have seen that project once they are completed, they don't see the next step, which means that many of the research projects that we are funding into academia, they are only remaining on the shelf, which means as a project report it is lying and there is no further next step. So now what we have decided is that every project will have 2 types of evaluation. One which is a traditional TRL based concept, technology readiness level. Another is a technology commitment level, transition commitment level, which means that user of that particular technology will provide some commitment, and that commitment will be evaluated over the progress of the project. So the user can be either a venture capitalist who want to fund further, or it can be the actual armed forces, or it can be a big industry who wants to utilize that technology. So in either way, based on the user type, there will be 9 such levels. Like TRL has got 1 to 9. Similarly, transition commitment levels also have got 1 to 9. So this is going to basically make sure that the maximum technology which are realized are actually going into the system. So this is one new concept where we are bringing. And another concept is that the new deep tech areas, there is a lot of risk of success and failure. So we are coming out with a concept of called successful failure, which means that as long as we are following a process of R&D, then outcome can be anything. It can be a full success, it can be a partial success, or it can be a total failure also. But then the industry will not be penalized. So this is new concept which we are bringing. Actually, we have borrowed it from South Korean recent model which they have come out with, and based on that, they have seen a lot of good success, because now people are able to take this, because always people are afraid that I should not work in some area where there is little success. So with this, some game-changing initiatives, I hope that we will be accelerating a lot of new things, and now we want to basically directly fund the young professors for the technology-based product development. So through a challenge, we will be throwing them the ideas, and we will be inviting the product-based R&D proposals from young professors who can then really bring out best from them, and each project will be up to 50 crore. So this one skill we are bringing out soon, and we will be announcing it, that so that industry, already we have in industry, but in academia also we will have it. And in both the cases, there is a back channel arrangement available. Any industry funded project there is a mechanism of funding academia up to 40%. Similarly, for every academic project, there is a mechanism of funding industry up to 40%. So with this good combination and handholding by our DRDO laboratories, I feel that DRDO together with industry and academia can make it a grand success in time to come. So I wanted to tell this, and thank you for patient hearing, and I think I have crossed my time.